Hi, everyone. Gene Nichols back with you. So happy to have with us today Joel Vendette, Executive Director of an organization called Home for a Home, a very special nonprofit because of the work that it does. Joel, welcome. Great to have you here.
Good morning, Gene. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Tell us a little bit about the birth and subsequent growth of Home for a Home.
So I didn't start the organization, but I am the executive director. We were founded in 2012 by a real estate agent up in the Bay Area as a way for agents to come together and give back. Basically, the way that we're structured is super simple. People register with us. They create a campaign that they then fund. Every time their campaign hits $3,300, we fund a home for a family in Guatemala, taking them from conditions that are daunting, to put it mildly. 1 week, we'll provide them a home at no cost. And so we'll take them from dirt floors and a makeshift structure to concrete floors, cinder block walls, a metal roof, metal locking door, window, clean burning wood stove, water filtration system, bunk beds with bedding, and a bag of groceries as a housewarming gift.
You have had a career in the real estate business, as has
Yes,
the founder of Home for a Home, Nick Cooper, who spent
correct.
time in real estate as well, right?
Correct. Yes.
So, what made you decide that this was something that stirred your heart, your emotions, and your energy?
Oh, I love that question. So I actually registered with the organization and got associated with them about 10 years ago. I am still selling real estate, but I was an agent in Los Angeles, and I happened to was looking online as a way for some way to give back because, as we all know, time can be really challenging, especially when you're working in this profession. And I heard about the organization, and I reached out to them, and the executive director happened to be in LA, so we scheduled a meeting. And I just loved the simplicity of the plan and knowing it's such a direct way to give back. And it really was the most full circle thing that I, as an agent, could do because I was like, I get to help somebody either buy or sell a property and somebody who may not even have a locking door have that. And it really did stir something within me as this is what it's all about. We can just help people for an amount that we may seem or call nominal, but we can really help a family change the entire trajectory of their lives. And that's really what spoke to me about the organization. And in 12 years as a whole, we've funded over 560 projects. But as you said, I'm the executive director. I took over this role 2 years ago, or just over 2 years ago now. The executive director had stepped down, and I love this organization. I believe wholeheartedly in what they're doing and what we are doing. And so I threw my hat in the ring, and now here I am running it.
We are speaking with Joel Vendette, Executive Director of Home for a Home. If you can, give us a synopsis of what it's like to do this kind of work in a country like Guatemala. What special challenges are there?
You know, I think the reason that we work in Guatemala is because of the need is so great. You're looking at about over 1 million people that are living in abject poverty. So we're able to really, in the span of 1 week, at no cost to a family, and that's the part that I think is super important. The family doesn't pay one dime. They help with the project. So it's really about doing something together. The area that we work in will be very remote areas oftentimes. So there may not even be any sort of an infrastructure, which we do not do infrastructure. We don't do the sewer lines or the water lines or electrical. We're really just there to give somebody and their families shelter. It's kind of amazing what you can do in 1 week for these families. I mean, I was just down there. I go down twice a year. Our homes are built year-round, but we do build trips. And so I was just down there about a month or so ago, and, we do the project. We build Monday through Friday, and on Friday we turn over the keys. And the father was there, and it just kind of hit home because he looks at us and he has two small daughters, they're 2 and 4, and he just looks at us and he's just saying, "Thank you for this. Now I know my daughters will be safe and dry and warm this winter." You just sit there and you're just going, that's what this is about. That's what this is about, is that we're doing this together to give you the opportunity to move forward. Having a locking door, the kids can be safe, so now maybe both parents can go work. It's so much more than what we think of as far as just 4 walls and a roof.
Do you use crews in Guatemala, or do you have some Americans here stateside that volunteer with your organization to help go there and build those homes?
So we actually do have a build partner in Guatemala. So we are actually able to help the Masons. We're able to provide jobs and work with them to make sure that the homes are built. Our build partner there, they're responsible for hiring people there. So we use local masons, use local materials. Everything that we do is sourced from within Guatemala. But during the year, we offer for the people who are part of the organization and their guests the opportunity to come down with me and be a part of a build.
You mentioned poverty is widespread there in Guatemala, so the demand for these homes must be high. Who determines and how do you determine who will get one of these homes? Because I would imagine you probably can't build them fast enough for the need.
So that's a great question. Our build partner, they are actually responsible for sourcing the families. The areas that we work in, a lot of them will be isolated. I don't say they don't take kind outsiders. They're just not used to outsiders coming in, so they'll be a bit shy and reserved. But as they see one project being built and then another one, the word starts to spread. One time when I was down there, we're visiting families who've received homes in the past. We just start walking along, and you started seeing a woman come up, and she pulls the gentleman aside to talk about getting a home for her daughter. We had to keep going so that way they could have an honest conversation or just a very, just talk comfortably. So it's very isolated areas. We work in remote areas that may not be used to outsiders coming in. So what will happen is they'll come up, we'll find the families, or they'll reach out to our build partner saying that they or somebody they know needs a home. Our build partner will then work with them to make sure they qualify. They'll look at the need. They also have to make sure they own the land. If they don't own the land, there's nothing we can do because obviously they don't own the land. So there is a whole system of checks and balances that our build partner will make sure everybody falls within the categories of.
What a fascinating thing to do with one's life, and it's just sheer luck that our paths crossed a few weeks ago at a local fundraiser for a local charity, 29 PSP. The website for your group is homeforahome.org. What's the biggest need that you have that our listeners might help with?
Oh, wow. I mean, we can always use more people who want to campaign and to fund homes. We can also use organizational support. I mean, that's one thing about us is that we don't really make anything on the homes. We have two revenue streams that we have to fund. Obviously, we're always looking for people who want to build homes and fund those. Those, like I said, currently they're at a goal of $3,300. But we also need organizational support to pay for the back end, such as all of our CRM, all of our software, to pay salaries and make sure that we have people that we can continue furthering our mission.
And of course, companies can sponsor too, can't they?
Oh, yes. We actually just launched our new sponsorship program. So anybody who has questions on that, I would love to be able to talk to them about the opportunity to become an annual sponsor and how we can work together to boost both organizations and give back and do great work together.
Should they contact you via email, phone, how?
More than welcome to email me. It's Joel, Joel, at homeforahome.org.
Joel at homeforahome.org. You can become a member of this great organization. You can become an individual donor. And again, if you own a company or are high up in a company and your company is looking to be a sponsor for some of the work that Joel and his crew are doing, homeforahome.org, or email him at Joel, Joel, at homeforahome.org. Joel Vendette's been my guest, executive director of this organization, Home for a Home, based here in the Coachella Valley now, Joel, but doing work right now in Guatemala. Do you see that ever expanding to other countries or no?
That's my hope, is that eventually we can. But obviously we need the support to make sure the organization can grow.
Thanks so much for your time, and more importantly, thanks so much for the effort you're making here on behalf of people in dire need in countries quite a distance from the good old U.S. of A., but folks who are so appreciative of even small gestures, and in this case, what you're doing, life-changing gestures in building them homes. We appreciate you and all that you do.
Well, thank you, Gene. I really do appreciate it. I'm very grateful, like you said, that we got to meet a couple weeks ago now, and for the opportunity to talk about the organization and help spread the word and get people involved. I really appreciate it, so thank you.
Our privilege, Joel. Joel Vendette, Executive Director, Home for a Home. It's homeforahome.org. I'm Gene Nichols.